It's pretty late right now. And like most humans, I was sitting there thinking about Age of Empires 2. And I remembered there was this game from over a month ago where a certain thing happened. So this is a bit of a blast from the past. You're going to want to watch this one. This was a really cool game. Ladies and gents, we have a Clash of Worlds, both in the game and how this game is going to be played, but also with the players we have here. So in the blue, we've got a player from the good old US of A playing as the Malay, and this player's name is Bloodless. If you don't know of Bloodless, he is on the Clown Legion team, thus the CL. He really likes closed maps. So usually he's going to favorite a map like Arena. He's going to favorite a map like Hideout, any map that has walls and protection from any like early land aggression. And then on the other side, we've got a Dark Side player. Now, Dark Side's not as well known, but there's a lot of DS players or Dark Side players who are very aggressive and very lamey and very raw. And this is an Argentinian player who, fun fact, not only is 2200 rated in Age of Empires 2, but this guy actually was a professional footballer. Yes, that's right. I forget his exact name. Maybe someone later in the comments could bring it up. He's an Argentinian player. He played in La Liga for a couple years. I don't know too much more about him, but I have verified that it's actually the case. So this guy's like really good at Age of Empires as well, and he's not new. As far as I know, he's like mid-30s now, and he's played Age of Empires for years. I just didn't know that whole, side story until I think last year when somebody told me. Anyways, so he's playing as the Vikings, and we have two fun civilizations that could work well on migration. Vikings known for dominating the water, and then Malay, they're known for dominating the water as well in a completely different way. Vikings have the cheaper docks and can't make fire galleys, so they're almost always playing into galleys. And then if we're lucky, we could see the longboat. And then the Malay advance faster to each age, which I think is crazy on migration. They also have more dock vision, which is at the very least extremely satisfying, which I'll show you in a second. And then, what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, they have really unique docks that can be upgraded later on to help you fortify the map. So I'm excited to see Malay here. But, like, something's going on with this generation. This is, this has to be unfair in terms of wood. Let me just select this. Like that. Like that. Okay, so 13,000 wood on this map for Carbo. Sorry, it's very hard for me to select this. And then 18,000 wood available for Bloodless. Like, I mean, that could be a really big deal in the event that one player gets pushed off the middle. Also, the way the middle island is situated is also very awkward. Because I imagine they both might go to the middle, and there's just not a lot of space there in the middle, so we'll see how things end up going here. Guys, okay, look at the dock vision from Carbo. You can see one deep fish, okay? That's it. Not that exciting. Wait for the dock from Bloodless. Okay, well, he kind of wasted his dock vision because he placed his dock so close to the edge of the map. But you see the difference? There's a very big difference there. That is actually a horrible dock. Like, the way this whole island is situated is just asking for a dock here, 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 here. But, again, he is actually really good on these maps. I played him in a water-only tourney, and Bloodless beat me, so I shouldn't make jokes. Be like, oh, he's not experienced on water maps. But, yeah, that's a little bit off. It's still fine for a starting dock, and you usually make more docks as well. You just want a couple deep fish for the Dark Age before you move on to Feudal Age. Also, this is kind of funny for Carbo. Probably not worth it with only one deep fish, but this is definitely a bugged map gen in some ways. I think they've got to take a look at migration because I see quite a few in ranked play that have these weird, awkward gens. It's not too bad, but like you could make use of this and hide the fish. And I actually was talking to someone about this the other day. I actually wish there was a little bit more quirkiness with some of the map gens. I know that like, sometimes it can lead to situations being unfair, but in ranked, I think like something like this is just a story waiting to happen, right? Someone submitting a game and they're like, I tried to kill my opponent's fish. They didn't have any. And when the game ended, there were 80 fish traps in the back corner. Like, stuff like that's pretty cool if it were to happen. Carbo trying desperately to get the food to click up. Will click up to feudal age. Carbo is really lacking wood. That's the one thing, though, they've kind of addressed. Carbo's got, like, no wood here in comparison. We're going to see the second lumber camp go up. Normally, it's about 3 on gold then as well. And then Bloodless has not clicked up yet, but can do so and will arrive faster. So Bloodless has the food or had the food already and is just going to queue up another vill. And this is common with the melee. Because if you get the same timing as your opponent, but you have a few more extra villagers or fishing ships working that entire time you're on your way up, it will lead to you having a better economy. Now, hold on a second. He's really going crazy. He's adding way more fishing ships. So he's taking this one step further, and he might even try and get away with a fast castle here. Meanwhile, we've got the common approach of multi-dock here from Carbo. I will say that, like, the starting dock position hurts Bloodless's chances of getting away with this more than he'd think, because you're always desperate for food with this type of attempt. So had the starting dock been here, and then the second dock had been here, he would just have more fish close by. I know it seems like I'm being nitpicky, but when you're trying to get away with a fast castle against so much navy that's going to be finding you, I think it's far from nitpicky. I think it's really important that you get that initial position down. Now, he's not going to have the food to click up the castle age right away. He's only going to have 2 docks here, and he made a mill. And that mill is obviously to take some food there, but also so you can make a market. So he wants to go market blacksmith. And there's the blacksmith, and there's the market. But that's a lot of his wood. The Bloodless has added fish, you could say, has benefited from all of this, right? Like, this approach has worked for now. But if the galleys swoop in, and the galleys were to kill all these fishing ships, in the long run, Carbo's going to catch up with the food. All right. I wonder if we're going to see the stone sold here by Bloodless. Yep, he's going to sell stone and buy a little bit of food here. This is a really interesting attempt. I like this a lot. Dang, and he's going to be up so quick. Well, if he could just save half of his fishing ships, I'd say this is really good. Okay, Bloodless is going to try and click up. There he goes. He's 90 seconds away from clicking up already, guys. And if you think about it, the opponent has 5 fishing ships. He has 9 still, even though he just lost one. Wow, this is such a good build order. Now, you do need to continue to focus on water, because over the next minute or so, your opponent could still clear out everything. You obviously might want another dock here. The lack of fletching for Carbo is just really, really bad. Normally, that fletching timing comes in almost immediately. So something went wrong there. It's just not ideal, I should say. Not really, really bad. Oh, what a glaring mistake. Fletching was 61 seconds late. Hey, those 61 seconds, they could matter a lot, right? And getting fletching when your opponent's in castle age is not a great feeling. That's a 14-minute castle age, by the way. 14 minutes here on a map with no boars. A sick build order from Blue. Micro against the fires. Okay, and Bloodless is going to try and save the weak ones. A Carbo is not really chasing those 2 down, as they're going to be repaired now, but I think you've got to try and snipe these bad boys. Those should be kills there, Carbo. Oh, man. And now fire galleys the fire galleys are going to become fire ships. And fire ships will be able to push back the galleys. The Carbo realizing it goes for the snipe. But Carbo's going to have to sail away, and Carbo now realizes, well, I need to get up as quickly as possible, so I'm going to use the market. But there's just so much time for Bloodless, and what a great build order. This is so good, so well executed, too. And now he's got more fishing ships still. So he can swing right around to the opponent. And while I've seen this attempted in different eras of Age of Empires 2, I've not seen this attempted in recent day Age of Empires 2. And then also, guys, I think a lot of this has to do with the melee, right? You can get away with it because of advancing faster to the next age. You guys know me. I'm a big fan of redocking. Would still love to see a dock here for Bloodless. You're running low on fish. But he's microing, right? Like, he's not looking at, staring at the fish positions like I am. Good decisions here. Good micro, though, from Bloodless, because the demo's been brought in here to weaken some ships. But for a demo to be seen as worth it, you really want to hit multiple ships. Harbo's micro's looking pretty good now. And a lot of these fires are weak. He's also just waiting with the demo. Some players will, like, overmake demos in those instances. They just, like, spam 6 or 7 demos, and then they have no navy otherwise. I like how he timed the demos. He probably needs one more now. There's a lot of navy rolling out across the map, though. Careening now is going to add even extra armor for these fires. And Carbo still 40 seconds from clicking up. And again, Bloodless with the good micro there. Pulling back the weak ones. And I think even if he kills the fishing ships, he's going to be happy here. Even has a fire over here. This game might be over already. Carbo doesn't quit, though. I play both these players a lot. They're actually both players who never resign. They fight tooth and nail to the finish. And obviously, Carbo is behind, but he's still got the mass. And I know I made the jokes, but he absolutely should not resign here. If he's going to have Bodkinero on the way soon, which he doesn't have, which is going to hurt. There it is now. He's still Vikings. He still has the docks. Will we see a transport ship from Bloodless? Doesn't really look like it. Bloodless didn't shy away from the farms here, did he? He's allowed the fishing ships to continue to work, but he hasn't been focused heavily on farms. Or he has been focused heavily on farms. Which could actually just lead to him having a faster Imperial age, now that I think about it. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Okay, that was definitely a mispatrol or a misclick there from Carbo. And now Bloodless is paying attention. Bloodless is over here now as he fled, which is what prompted him to come in on this side. And the KD is very close here, guys, but the economy is not. Look at the economy for Bloodless now. On the back of all this. And then, let's actually look at the resources collected. Yeah, look at that. 1,000 more resources collected now for Bloodless. And you would expect that that would actually climb, right? Because now one player is fishing ships, the other does not. And you have all this good farming eco. Still no transport for the middle. And as I say that, there's actually a transport right here in front of us. Okay. Fires now beginning to get worried, and now you might really be, well, not regretting your choices if you're Bloodless, but you might be worried. And this is what makes Age of Empires so good. That was very well played from Bloodless, just to snipe one with one random ship, but there's constant pros and cons in this game. The pro for Bloodless is obviously the economy. The con is that the longboats are coming. And he's kind of scared Carbo into this all-in mindset. He's just got to commit everything all the time. And fishing ships are a big part of that economy for Bloodless. Not everything, but he could lose all of that. Hasn't really expanded that. A lot of players would. His initial build order got him here. 60 population versus 53. The fishing ships are free for the taking. And the fire ship production is stalled. And now Bloodless is going to try and go into regular galleys. And it's always such a tricky thought here. Like, the only reason I can say this with conviction is because I've tried this at least 20 times in Bloodless's shoes. It always feels like if you give up on fires and you try and go into the ranged galleys here, it's never going to work because they already have won the race to those numbers. Does that make sense? Like, they're already ahead of you there. It just feels like you need to sometimes go for more fires, but then if you go for more fires, they just mix in like a demo or two, and then you're screwed. So it's so tricky, which is why Vikings are so dominant. Look at this. We have the transport here. Bloodless scouts this, though. And he's going to lose his scout, actually. Great attention from Carbo. But will this be spotted by Carbo? I mean, he sees it, but I don't know if he'll be able to do anything about it. Also, there's a monk there from Bloodless going out, no doubt, to get the relic. Bloodless is getting ballistics now. Bloodless is really going to try his best here to out-micro all this. His dock positions are going to make this awkward, right? Because he's going to need new units to come join this group. The monk... Where's the scout from Carbo? That scout's going to go home. The monk's going to... The monk convert the transport! No way! No way! There's 3 red villagers in that transport ship. Okay, this is what you do, guys. We still got to pay attention to this. Carbo's angry now. He's like, I'll take your transport too. Okay, what you do here is you just hide the transport in the corner of the map because that's 3 population that Carbo can never get back. If you were to ungarrison those villagers, they're still Carbo villagers. Okay? So, if you ever convert an enemy transport, just hide it. Oh, man. I don't know if I've ever seen that. I probably have seen it once. I know I've talked about it. Like, I told a story once about how I saw a game back in, like, 2013 where someone lost 4 full transport ships of military units, and the other guy just hit it in a corner. But that was back when, you know, I was a noob, right? Like, we were just playing with, like, no hotkeys, so it wasn't really, like, that crazy to see back then. Yeah, and you can't check idle villagers and delete them. I've tried. That's awesome. So, yeah, I mean, it's only 3 population for Carbo, but the other thing is he had to make a whole new transport. He still hasn't finished the university, and he has made the rest of his life more difficult. And Bloodless has the economy lead. And Bloodless has ballistics because he had his university. And Bloodless can actually take a decent trade here for the time being. And so the scout gets converted. Oh man, everything's falling apart for Carbo at the moment. Also, what in the world is that TC from Bloodless? He's like, I'm going to secure this land before you do. Because he knows how awkward it is to place TCs there. I think what Bloodless really needs right now, though, is he needs docks that can't be found. Like, that's a big issue for him. He does have the Navy here, I guess. But he desperately needs to have docks that, like, I think are right here or something, because these docks are so crucial to his production, and they're all getting outranged. It'd be funny if Carbo stops this TC with the 3 villagers, but he's distracted. Microing, micro. Nerd, micro, well played, nerd, micro, good. TC's gonna go up. Lady's gonna get punched in the back of the head. Don't you hate that? I was building a TC last week and that happened to me. Okay, but now the monks are coming over too. And Bloodless does have 3 relics at the moment. Gonna get Sanctity. Yeah, he's just straight up gonna use monks. Like, there's no army on land from Carbo. Monks are actually completely fine there. Like, now Bloodless is in a position where he has 50 or so villagers surrounded by a navy. And he's going to try and get up to the Imperial age here, and we know it's not going to take too long because he is Malay after all. This is really nice from him. Oh, demo, get the traitors! Oh, the demo doesn't see it. What's Bloodless going to do with Imperial age, though? I mean, obviously, he needs to get back on water. So I think Carbo's approach should be to spread ships out everywhere along the shoreline. And there you go. Bloodless is going to go for it here. Yeah, he's going to drop 3 docks. I want to look at the resources collected. There has to be a massive difference. Yeah, still a massive difference there. Mainly the food, I'd say. Well, food and gold, which is what takes you to Imp, right? Finally, Carbo gets the TC up. And he doesn't see any docks here. Bloodless is actually really low on wood, too. This is a crazy game. He's going to be buying wood, but you never want to buy wood, because then the opponent can sell wood and get a lot of gold. Feels like if you could get fast fire, it could be really good. If you can afford that. Like, he's now researching fast fire in this dock. Ooh, that dock might go down. It's going to be very close. Also, transport with the 3 villagers is still there. Oh, Bloodless is losing some timings here. Oh, no way. Now, that seems obvious to us, like a lot of things can in this game, but he's going to realize now, and he's going to have to wait a little bit more time. He hid the transport. You will never find your friends. Your friends are mine, fool. I like how like he's under so much pressure right now, and it's such a close game, and he still thought to micro that. Oh no! Oh no! Carbo, don't kill it. Those are your friends, man. I guess there might as well be enemies now if they're in that ship. They should learn how to swim. Okay, well, they're gonna die now. Carbo loses population as he kills the transport ship. And now here come the fast fires. Now, fast fires are just terrifying to deal with if you're still stuck in Castle Age. The way I would compare it is think like how good knights can be in low numbers versus like archers in high numbers, right? This is like the early Imperial Age Cavalier of the Sea. These fast fires. They are insane. We got tons of Pierce armor. Now, longboats actually do better against fires than the majority of things you can get on water in Castle Age, but still, I mean, it's still not pretty. And the dock position from Bloodless is perfect. And he still has control in the middle. And he's still converting vills. If he's not converting transports with vills inside, he's converting the villagers, which is all perfect and saves the monk there as well. And I think he's going to drop a castle here. And I think Bloodless is close enough to taking this game, right? Like, had some amazing play this game, which has really impressed me and taught me a lot, to be honest, if I ever play this map. But, I mean, we also had the highlight of converting the transport. Here he is with his castle. Carbo only has so many villagers. The Carbo... I'm not great at math, but I can tell that you're outnumbered here. And poor Carbo, you know, desperate like many times in this game, is going to try and click up to the Imperial Age to upgrade the Navy. But by the time Carbo would make it to the Imperial Age, all the docks would be gone because Bloodless is full control here, and Bloodless wins the game. That was a really fun game to watch. I mean, this game would have been awesome if it wasn't for that transport getting converted. The transport getting converted just added extra levels to it. And I really have to hand it to Bloodless because he had such good creativity here on how to play this map. Like, majority of players, like Carbo or anyone who's normally used to the standard open land maps, they're going to play well, and they're going to play it pretty much like Carbo did here. Full-on Navy from early feudal. Now, there were things we talked about, like Carbo probably could have done more damage with fletching, and there's still a window there, which Bloodless firmly clamped shut later on. But still, like, to be creative enough to use Malay, not the Italians, not the Portuguese, not the Byzantines, not some of these other civs we're seeing, and use them in that way was really cool to see. Overall, the game was also really close with the KD, too. 66 kills, 68 deaths. But Bloodless knew it was all about control and economy. I think what you credit him for in this game was how he treated his food and his gold eco. And he didn't go full water all the time. He knew when he needed it, where he needed it. And obviously converted that freaking transport ship, man. Carbo was probably so annoyed. Losing that transport ship delayed him so much because he didn't finish his university. That was at 99%. He then needed to spend 100 wood on a new transport, send more vills over. Painful, painful, painful. Also, I wonder what happens there. Like, if you check your idols, does it take you to that transport? I'm trying to remember because it happened to me before in like a Mimi game. And I think it actually does take you to the Fog of War briefly. Like, it doesn't, I don't know how to describe this, but the best way I can say it is for this area, it's darkness for Carbo, right? But if you check your idols really fast, it would like quickly take you there and take you back to wherever you were, but it wouldn't show you the unit. But again, I don't know if that's precisely what happens in a ranked game. Actually, I could be confusing it with the, we had a kidnap mod where someone could take your villager and they would hit your villager and your villager would get sucked into the scout's belly. That's right. And so it was kind of the same thing where you had like one unit garrisoned. Anyways, Great game. Hope you guys enjoyed. People on YouTube, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know what you thought about it. Good to mix in migration every now and then. But even better than that, mixing in a creative migration game is solid. Ah, crap. I forgot to record that one. All right, well, Hardy's going to have to deal with that.